Top 10 Oldest Languages in the World. Choose one of the oldest languages still in use if you want to learn one of the oldest languages in the world in 2022. We've done our homework and produced what we think are the 10 oldest languages still in use today in the globe. In this video, we will present top 10 most oldest languages in the world. Before going on, like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates. Let's start. Number 10. Italian, as a Latin ancestor, 100 BC, circa 2,100 years old. Italian comes last but surely not least. As you can see, it can be difficult to identify the oldest language still in use without looking at a language's genealogy. After all, where do you draw the line between historical and modern languages if one gave rise to the other? Early Latin was used in the Roman Republic, possibly even much earlier than 75 BCE. The Roman Republic was formed in 509 BC. After some consideration, Italian was chosen as the most contemporary descendant of Latin. Nonetheless, any Romance language may have been cut. Therefore, why Italian? Because Italian, which originated in Italy during the Middle Ages, is now the official language of Rome and is directly descended from Vulgar Latin. Around 67 million people in the EU and worldwide are native speakers of Italian today, and many more prefer to learn the language because of its beauty. Number 9. Korean, 57 BC or later to the present, circa 2,100 years old. Without Korean, another ancient language with a long history, no top 10 list of the oldest languages still in use today would be complete. There are currently at least 77 million native speakers of Korean, which is spoken as the main language in both North and South Korea. There is some debate as to exactly when the Proto-Koreanic language changed into Old Korean, but it is undeniable that a Korean language or proto-language was in use by the time the Silla state was founded in 57 BCE. Interestingly, Yi, make, an extinct Koranic language from Manchuria and Eastern Korea, was the predominant tongue during the Gojoseon period, when the ancient Korean writing system known as Hanja, based on Chinese characters, was first used. Since they were first created in the 14th century, the Hangul phonetic characters are essentially brand new. Number 8. Tamil, 300 BC, circa 2,300 years old. Tamil is another lovely language with a long and fascinating history. It is one of the official languages of Singapore, Sri Lanka, and the state of Tamil Nadu in southern India. It is usually stated that, in terms of how it has changed over time, Hindi is the language in India, if not the entire world, that has the closest connection to its classical beginnings. With over 75 million native speakers, it's hardly overstating things to claim that it's still widely used as a first language. Tamil fans may claim that it is the oldest language in the world when you speak to them, and in some respects, they may be right. The earliest language on this list, according to Russian linguist Dr. Mikhail S. Andronov, is Tamil, which he claims is descended from Proto-Dravidian, a proto-linguistic reconstruction that may have been in existence as far back as the 4th millennium BCE. But proving it is a little challenging. We do know that Old Tamil has been used since 300 BC. Nevertheless, this is nothing to laugh at. Number 7. 522 BC, Farsi, circa 2,500 years old. Farsi is the oldest spoken language of the Iranian language family, albeit it is not the first language in the Indo-Iranian language family. Old Persian, which first appears between 522 and 486 BCE, is where it gets its roots. According to UNC Chapel Hill's Department of Asian and Middle Eastern Studies, currently, there are around 110 million speakers of the Farsi language worldwide, including 70 million native speakers. As well as among Persian diasporic groups around the world, there are still communities of native Farsi speakers in Iran, Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, Iraq, Russia, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. Number 6. Hebrew c. 1000 BC, circa 3,000 years old. Speaking of the Hebrew script, It was first attested for the first time around 1000 BCE, or about 100 years after Aramaic, making Hebrew another member of the club of the oldest language still in use. Hebrew may be the only language on this list that briefly lost its status as a mother tongue before being successfully brought back to life. From the 2nd century CE onward, Hebrew was mostly used for religious writings, letters, and contacts between Jews who did not normally speak the same language. Number 5. 1100 BC, Aramaic, circa 3,100 years old. Those unfamiliar with the cultures of Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, and Turkey may not anticipate Aramaic to be included on the list of the oldest living languages in the world. The Aramaic alphabet, on the other hand, predates both the Hebrew and Arabic alphabets, making Aramaic a very old language. However, Aramaic, the language of the ancient Arameans of Syria, has persisted long into the 4th millennium and was first recorded in 1100 BC. It is a more vibrant and alive language than Sanskrit or Coptic, among the oldest still in use today. Neo-Aramaic languages are currently spoken by between 800,000 and 1,000,000 people worldwide. Number 4. China, 1250 BC. Circa 3,300 years old. Chinese is another contender for the title of oldest spoken language, and oldest written language still in use today. It is undoubtedly both practical and supported by a lengthy, rich history. The earliest Old Chinese writings are found on oracle bones that date to around 1250 BCE. Chinese is a very broad phrase because there are so many distinct dialects and linguistic types in China today. But many of the more popular ones, like Mandarin and Cantonese, are members of the Sino-Tibetan language family and are ancestors of the Old Chinese we're referring to here. Chinese has to come out on top when it comes to languages that are both old and useful. Number 3. Greek, 1450 BC. Circa 3,500 years old. Moving ahead a tiny bit in time, Greek is perhaps the oldest language that is still spoken daily. The Greek language today is unquestionably a descendant of the Greek used by Homer and those who came before him, way before him, even though modern Greek has changed greatly from the Greek spoken in antiquity. It is thought that Homer's writings were written between the 7th and 9th century BC. Around 700 years before the Odyssey debuted, in 1450 BCE, Mycenaean Greek made its first appearance. By attested, we mean virtually certified by linguists. Number 2. Sanskrit, 1500 BC. Circa 3,500 years old. Sanskrit is arguably the second oldest language in the world that is still in use today, with the earliest documents reaching back to about 1500 BCE. Similar to Coptic, Sanskrit is still widely utilized in religious literature and rites in Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism. In India, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and other countries in South and Southeast Asia, official organizations also commonly use Sanskrit terms and phrases, from missile names to school mottos. Even though it's thought that no one speaks Sanskrit as their first language today, a surprising number of people consistently list it as their first language on India's census. Number 1. Egyptian era, 2690 BC. Circa 4,700 years old. The first proto-language ever recorded was an African language, and Nigeria is where the first proto-writing system was developed. Therefore, it should come as no surprise that Egyptian, the oldest language on this list, is also from and spoken in Africa. Over 4,700 years have passed since the first complete sentence in ancient Egyptian was written down, approximately 2690 BCE. Although the majority of the population hasn't spoken Egyptian since the 19th century, which, regrettably, explains why you don't see many hieroglyph keyboards for sale. As cool as that would be, it is still officially in use today. The Coptic language, which is still spoken today and is principally used as the liturgical language of the Coptic Catholic Church and the Coptic Orthodox Church of Alexandria, is known as Coptic. However, that is still fairly amazing, especially after more than 4,500 years. So this is the end of our today's video. Do you like it? Feel free to submit your response in our comments section below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.